a number of factors that make our system a powerful tracking tool. We've got the largest land-based AIS system in the world, covering 132 different countries, different ports and terminals. But coupled with that, we have exclusive access to the Lloyd's agency network and our own agents. And they're people passed in ports throughout the world, passing information back to us. And with those two assets, we can cross-check a lot of that information. Apart from those people, we have links with the class societies, regulatory authorities, and business itself, cross-checking on that information. So it's far more than just an electronic transmission. Coupled with that, there's a really powerful interface that allows people to get right down and see the vessels either worldwide or zoom down into the ports. I remember back in November 2006 when the Emma Maersk came into Felixstowe. I was out of the country, but by using this system, I could actually see her being pushed into the quay there by the tugs, and it just made me feel like I was watching her arrive in port. And that's very important to people when they're trying to understand what the maritime domain is about. The main difference between our system and others is the application of human intelligence from our agency network. AIS works from the radio signals coming from the vessels, and often there can be problems with an identification of the vessel. It relies on the MMSI number, and that is supposedly a unique number, but there are problems where that number can be reused or typed in incorrectly. And so if you're relying purely on that, there is always the difficulty of misidentification. Using the human intelligence, someone's physically seen the vessel arrive and sail. We use that to clarify the system and correct any information that may be coming in that's incorrect. Over and above that, looking at a position on a chart is great for knowing where the vessel is, but really we can provide far more information about what that vessel has been involved in the past, who's owned it, what names it's had, what flags it's had, the incidents it's been involved in, port state control arrests or inspections, or any casualties where it may have grounded or hit the quay, fires, explosions, that type of thing. So the whole information is brought together within the AIS interface, but it revolves a whole background of information underneath there. The main thing that the system is used for is getting a view of the maritime domain anywhere in the world. Business relies on information being up to date, and the maritime world traditionally has been quite opaque. But using AIS and our systems underlying that is able to give a really good insight in what's happening to a particular vessel, a particular fleet, or the vessels in a particular area, or within our system even worldwide. You can zoom down from that high level looking for particular types of vessel. And that's what our customers are using that for. They're looking for a competitive advantage. They probably know very well where their own vessels are, but their competitors' vessels, they're maybe sort of vying for different cargoes. They can use this system to find out where they are and the sorts of trades they're on. If you're prospecting for new business, you may have a service that you can provide for the vessels. If you're aware of people who are regularly in that area or are just arriving, you can contact them through our system and make new business arrangements. And over and above that, it gives a really good indication of the state of the fleet, which vessels are active, which vessels are inactive, and that's particularly important from an economic point of view when it comes to moving trade. I think the graphical interface is going to be with us all in the future. You've only just got to look at mobile phone technology to see how powerful and useful that graphical interface is. With AIS, it's really our first start into taking our in-depth information and making it really available to the client. The AIS system, standard one, shows you the vessels and you can drill down to the underlying data. But we have a number of other products that look at the information in a global view and provide information about a vessel or a fleet in context with that whole fleet. There's one for the insurance market which looks at the assessment of past records of a vessel, past records of the owner, and comes up with a score based on that, which is used when writing insurance for a fleet or a particular vessel. There's a similar one used by regulatory authorities that looks for the similar types of background, but it's really looking for vessels that may need specific special attention when they're arriving, or special guidance when they're coming into a port based on their background. And what we've done with AIS there is that we're colour coding the icons on the screen according to that background, so that without having to delve into the database, you can see instantly through colour which may be the vessels that need a particular attention. You click on the icon and then drill down in the database. And I think this is the tip of the iceberg. There's so many things that can be done with graphics and explaining information trends and flows. And so the system that you see at the moment is really the beginning of a very large development in that graphical interface.